Hello everybody and welcome to the February 2023 manga haul. Today I have only 4 books to talk about. That is a very stark difference from last month's 16, but this month I had a bunch of stuff going on, and I didn't just buy books. I bought a few other things, as you probably saw in the thumbnail, and from the thumbnail you can probably tell what they were, but they were some Nintendo Switch video games. So I have those along with the 4 volumes I bought this month to talk about, and without further ado, let's hop into it. So per usual, let's start with the Shonen Jump books I got, and here we start off with My Hero Academia Volume 33 and Shouha Shoten Volume 1. So these are, this is My Hero's a continuation of the Deku Vigilante arc, or the Dark Deku arc as I like to call it. And this holds sort of the end of that arc and the prelude to begin the next arc, which is the Star and Stripe arc, of course. And this book does just that. It builds it up and it builds it up. I have not reread this yet. I plan to here soon, but it just hasn't happened yet. But the other book we have here is the first volume of a series. This is Shouha Shoten Volume 1. Now, Shouha Shoten runs in the Jump Squared magazine, the same one that series like Twin Star Exorcist, Blue Exorcist, if I'm not mistaken. Wow, I just realized there's a lot of Exorcist series in Jump Squared. But also we have World Trigger, and we also have Shouha Shoten, along with I think Seraph of the End is the other one that gets translated here in the States. But Shouha Shoten here has the story by Akirani Asakusa and art by Takeshi Obata. You know who Takeshi Obata is because they're the same person who have done Hikaru no Go and other masterpieces, and especially Death Note and Bakuman, the manga series, right? The manga series based on writing manga. But this is Shouha Shoten, and it is the comedy. It's all about these two guys here, Azumichi and what's his name, Tayo, who they go and they become a comedy duo, and they do shenanigans together, I guess you can say, and pretty much want to rule the world of comedy as their name, or as their, what's it called, their group one-way ticket to the top. I really enjoyed this series, and as you'll see on the channel here soon, I want to start reviewing it. And really, this was a really good volume to go through and reread it once again. This series has some really good characters, and especially comedy duos, since that is what it's based off of. I do like the back of this volume here, for you got Prankstein and a bunch of things that are integral to these first 3 chapters this holds. And going back to the back of the My Hero Academia volume here, we have Deku here, Bakugo, a big thing that happens in it, and also Stain, which Stain does appear in these for the first time in a long time. It is, so, nope, that may be in the previous volume, I don't know, but Stain's here nonetheless. So yeah, these are both really good books, and I would definitely recommend both My Hero Academia if you have not gotten started with it. Very good series. I highly recommend it. And also, I have reviews of every single one of the chapters in this volume up on the channel, made whenever the chapters came out, so go check those out, definitely. And again, with Shouha Shoten, definitely check it out. It is a really fun first volume, and if you really like comedy in any way, or like Takeshi Obata's art, definitely check it out. It definitely has a lot of soul to it, and a bunch of laughs as the series goes on, and it does have some really good ones in this first volume. Now, the other 2 books I bought this month were both from Kodansha, and they're both in 2 totally different genres, so I'm going to talk about each one whenever I get to it. So the first book I bought was not a new release from this month, but a release from January, which I picked up in February. This is the number 6 Volume 1 Omnibus. So this includes volumes 1 through 3, and it's an omnibus. But it holds the first 3 volumes of the number 6 story. I had never even heard of this series before I saw it in the bookstore, and I thought the cover looked really interesting. I really love the moniker of the boy, the rat, and the city. If you know anything about Fire Force, that is something that I love about Fire Force, how a bunch of characters in that series were given sort of monikers in that way. of strongest pyromaniac to craziest, the angel, the demon, and like the lion, and all these sort of names about it. And this is a trope I really like. So we have the boy, the rat, and the city of number 6. So this was a very interesting first volume. It's about a guy named Shion and another guy named Rat. In the first chapter, Shion is young and he ends up saving Rat, who is a wanted fugitive from a rainstorm. And from there, Shion's life pretty much goes to shit, and it's really not too good. And eventually, his friend Saki is here, or Safu, I think, actually. And things happen, and they get banished from the city of number 6. And there's this whole idea of number 6 is very corrupt, and Shion and Rat are out to solve the mystery. So these are the first 3 volumes of the series. If I'm not mistaken, this is actually a light novel series that was turned in to manga. I am not 100% sure on that, but I also did a little research on it. But there are 9 volumes total of this, so 2 more omnibuses, and this first omnibus really had me wanting to sort of find out what happens next. This first volume ends off with a main character needs to get rescued, and Shion is off to do it, and Rat doesn't quite know about that yet. So it's very interesting to see where it'll go from here, and definitely this is a really nice book. This is actually the first book I've ever gotten from Kodansha that doesn't have a sort of gloss cover like these guys do, like most manga does. It sort of has like a, I don't really know how to explain it, but like sort of like a cardstock paper in a way as the cover instead of the gloss that, like I said, these guys have. And overall, I really enjoyed number 6. It was a very fun and intriguing first volume, and like I said, I will definitely be checking out the next volume because, well, it was very interesting, and if the next volume intrigues me, I'll pick up the last one, and hey, that'll be a short series completed in 3 omnibuses. One thing I don't really like about this cover, though, is I did have a little bit of cracking here from reading it. I know it's on a half enough books, but whenever it's on the shelf, I sort of don't really like that, but still, it was good enough to where I can look past that. So the last book I got this month is this, A Condition Called Love. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't really like this. I thought it was good for the most part. I didn't really like it. So, normally I don't buy things like this, but I thought it seemed very interesting, and I had heard a few reviews, especially about like the Omnibus Collector, a very prominent person on YouTube before doing the manga buying guides for each month, and they talked about this book, and I saw they made a post on Twitter about it, and I've seen a few other people talking about it, and I decided to go check it out, and to be honest, I didn't really like it. One thing to note about this book, again, is it has the same sort of cover as this one does. Even though, like, a bit more of a degree, it's definitely, like, cardstock paper just printed on with no gloss cover. Again, like Shohasho and My Hero Academia from this month. But A Condition Called Love was a very interesting book. It's pretty much, this girl's never known love. She met him, and things go on as it goes around. I don't really have a lot of enjoyment for this, so I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. If you like the series, that is very good for you, but for me personally, I just didn't really like it that much, and I'm not going to return it because I have read it, and that's not a thing that I'm into, but it's maybe still on the shelf for a while, maybe it'll get sold, but I didn't really like A Condition Called Love too much, but I do think this is definitely out there for people who will enjoy it and find a great series out of it. And with that, now to the part you've all been waiting for. What were the video games I bought? And if you have seen anything on the channel, you probably know at least one of these by this point, but you may not know what both of them are. And they are Metroid Prime Remastered and Digimon World Next Order. So these were both actually games that came out on the same day. Metroid Prime Remastered had a few problems with getting released physically and things like that, while Digimon World Next Order just sort of came out. This is a PSP game that came to the Switch, and this is a GameCube game that got remastered and came to Switch. They're both remasters in their own right, and definitely Digimon World Next Order is definitely more in line with all of this stuff right here than Metroid Prime Remastered, but Digimon World Next Order is a very interesting game. I haven't been able to play too much of either of these. I haven't even been able to pop in Metroid Prime X of just life. So yeah, I just wanted to shout these two games out because I don't only spend my money on manga, I spend it on other things. And this month, for instance, I didn't really have too much interesting in the book world that I wanted to get, or I just didn't ever get there to get it, as we will see in March. But yeah, Digimon World Next Order, Metroid Prime Remastered. Don't have a whole lot to say of them, but hey, they're Nintendo games, and look at that. And with that, I don't have any other things to talk about. There may be a video eventually on the whole magic card situation I have found myself in. This is my favorite magic card of all time, the Earl of Squirrel. Oh, look at that nice rainbow you see there on the camera. But yeah, that's besides the point. And with that, this is going to be Glowplasma231 out, as I'm stacking books here, and that was a bit too early for me to say that, but yeah, check out number 6, Just Shoten, My Hero's Good, Earl of Squirrel.